This is Crystal, and this is part 75 of the Human Journal, A Childlike Heart. Yeah, this journal I'm going to talk about the whole thing of just the feeling of, having a childlike heart. What is it? And, last night, I was having a deep conversation with my friend, like most of the time. And I was just thinking about a lot of people and consciousness, and I just kept coming up with solutions. Like, I was leaning towards simplicity of what consciousness is, because that's what we all are. We all consciousness, and consciousness is really simplicity. And so I was just thinking about all the drama, all that stuff, and I just took it apart, and I just laid it out like this about what, how people go about it, in a very simplest way. I just kept going like this, like, a lot of, the first thing I start off with was the whole thing, what the United States is, and I just kept telling her about, that the United States is not a nation, and it's a communist system, and people, it's all about people re-educating themselves, and looking into the laws that's there for us, that we put there, and bringing back the Republic America, the de jure government, the limited government, and and people, reconnecting, here in America about the whole thing about governing yourselves. And people gone about it, and they just, a good number of people, it just made a decision. They know who they are, and they just removed the de facto government, communist de facto government right here in Washington, D.C. And I felt excited about it because, this is the truth here. And this is another way of people empowering themselves. And I felt really good about it. I felt so darn good about it. And then I just kept going. I just kept going about the, I know a lot of people, I'm aware about a lot of people concerned about the Federal Reserve note. And I just, I was saying to her like this, I'm like, we could all get rid of the Federal Reserve note and put new money there. I'm very confident in what I'm saying, because I just, when you're leaning toward the truth, you're going to be confident, period. So I just went on saying about, people, they removed the de facto government, okay? They just changed the entire system. And then people just implemented another currency, or bring back gold and silver as a currency type, like it was in the earlier times. Or however, but people just empower themselves. Yeah, people got out, they dropped their sheep clothing, and they just empower themselves. It's just wonderful. So I felt good about it. And I was just saying it, leaning towards it, that is, everything is simplicity. That's what life is. People gone about it. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. And that's the best thing I can say about it. That's one of the best things I describe is what does it feel like to have a childlike heart? It's breaking things apart and not worrying about whether it makes sense or not. You break the complex problem up into pieces and rebuild it to something different. I was just saying, I just, after having a brief conversation with her about this, I felt inspired that I just wanted to do a part about this, about the childlike heart. So a lot of stuff I'm going to say in this audio, obviously I didn't say all of it to her, but I just wanted to share this with everybody about, just tapping in, allowing your higher self, everybody, allowing your higher self that you are consciousness, and that is the truth. You're the one that basically set that tone in your own life. You the director. Okay? You're the host of your own show, and people understood this. And I'm excited, and that's felt good about it. I mean, it's just, I'm going to keep sharing this. It doesn't make no sense, right? It doesn't make no sense about people empower themselves, people removing the communist government here in America. That don't make no sense. We're comfortable talking about problems all day. We're comfortable accepting a very defeated attitude. We're comfortable about that. And, consciousness is about expansion. And that's what consciousness is. Consciousness is all about expansion. And that right there, once you understand that, you tap into that truth, that's it. It's like really nothing could stop us. That's the truth. So I felt like, man, it's like I just kept going about, about people, changing a new media, just changing a different media, just the whole media paradigm, and people not relying on certain things. Sometimes we rely on products, whatever, to fulfill us, and people have an appreciation of themselves. I've said this before, but I just look at it that people took all these things that hold us back, that suggested and hold us back, and we just easily, with ease, we just turn things around. Having a childlike heart is going against your logical mind and going against it's the norm. You understand? It's going against the norm. Because it's normal to live a fucked up life. That's what's in your head. That's completely normal. To live a life of abundance and basically empowering yourself, that don't make no fucking sense. So that's the thing. You have a childlike heart. You look at your offspring. It's like they're so fresh into this dimension. They look at things. They don't look at all the baggage they carry. I mean, they've been around. Your offspring been around forever. This spirit, but they enter in this dimension. As of like, wow. It's like you're just putting things together, but you don't have the baggage that's holding you back. So the logical mind is basically suppressed, or let's just say, I don't want to say suppressed, but it's not in the forefront. So that's why your offspring is so imaginative and so like, wow, and very faithful, So I was just talking about, people changing the media, people not using or allowing these corporate products to fulfill them. Suggested wise that, in order for you to feel great, you need to buy our product, or you need to look like so and so on TV for you to feel or feel good about yourself. Excuse me. So people basically love themselves. You tap in deep, real deep into your higher consciousness, and that's it. I mean, there's really nothing in these paradigms could ever give you. It doesn't even know you. These products and all that stuff that tells you that without it, you're nothing. They don't know who you are. You know who you are. So that's what people did. People tap into their higher self. You have infinite knowledge. Wisdom, infinite wisdom. These things is not, you don't have to earn it or something gave you. It's embedded in your spirit. It's always been there. It's been there for like eternity. So it's like, people, changing the media. People talk about, well, we were going to do with the pollution. People are like, you know what? Get rid of the factories. Use your infinite knowledge, right? People work well together. They, utilize their knowledge and just build ideas, create ideas that will support to have a cleaner environment. People don't like the oil company. Then that's the same thing with them also. Shifting these things out of our reality. But a lot of people will come up with problems and problems and problems, one problem after another, one problem after another. Well, what are we going to do? They're backed up by the politician, the corrupted politician. Well, I start off with people removing this communist system. Okay? That's not going to really benefit us. The only thing that will benefit you, these corrupted government systems around the world, is that for us to wake up. That is the only thing it benefits you. But so I expressed the truth. I expressed about the reality that does exist. So people remove these communist systems around the world. There's no excuses. There's no what if. People just gone about, take the responsibility, grow up, right? And, within spirit, mature spiritually. Yes, you have a childlike heart, meaning you're not going to worry about how this is going to work out. This is not going to make any sense. Okay? I'll bring this back, like I said in my other previous parts. Your imagination is the bedrock. I could keep saying that all the time. So there's no communist system. So the oil companies don't have the politicians to pocket them. Or I just want to add the lobbyists. The lobbyists been done away with. That's it. It's just like, what the oil company, what direction they're going to turn to. So they are shifted out of our reality. Who did it? Who did this? Who did this? Everybody. People. Yes, people. It's consciousness within people. And that's why people spread their wings. That's why people evolve. You understand who you are. So you got rid of the oil company. You got rid of the factories. Okay? Food. Starvation. That's another thing, too. There's plenty of resources in this world to feed this world 10 times over. The population of this world. There is enough food to go around to feed the world. There is. I understand that the whole thing with the starvation it's all another political ploy. I understand that. I'm like, it doesn't make no sense. You have charity. You have these charity companies that's every damn year in Christmas. The charities, they just keep the paradigm running. They don't really solve the problem as far as people being fed. They just give you, the charity is just a Band-Aid. That's it. It comes with an acceptance that, yes, there's always going to be poor people, and we just have to accept it. There's going to be poor people, and people are not going to be able to buy food. So, you know what? The childlike heart is, you know what? There's enough food to go around for everybody, and there's no reason whatsoever for people to not eat anything. For those that don't want to eat, the breatharians, I respect that. That's great. That's a spiritual path you choose. Or the vegan eaters, that's great. That's another spiritual path you choose. I support those things. That's great. But as far as the starvation, there's enough resources and food to go around to feed this world 10 times over. It just is. People have discovered that there's plenty of space in the world. Wow, wait a minute. There's plenty of space? Yeah. Because people remove, you see, when you cut off the head of the beast in D.C., you see, all the world governments that supports this communist fear-based control, it become like a domino effect. Because you took the head off the beast. So all the world government that supports the United States, right? And that includes Russia and China, even though they act like they're foes. But all the world government that suggests control and fear and divide the population, that has been done away with because people empower themselves collectively. So there you go. There's plenty of land. People didn't realize that for the moment, right? Because the governments around the world has been holding down the land for the time being. I could say they're placeholders. They're holding the land for you. No one could really, there is no world controllers that basically controls everything. That's complete, utterly bullshit. I'm going to tell you that right now. And all the fact checkers, I'm going to tell you that right now. You and everybody else that hold up to that truth, that is a game that you're playing. But you and everybody, and me included, I allow all of these things. I allow all these things because for me to wake up and for you to wake up. And that is the purpose of all this. So the childlike heart is that people break these ideas, these limited paradigms, and break it up and rebuild something different. You know, I want to say things for everybody to visualize with me. I believe in doing something that's symbolic. Here's an example. You got Washington, D.C., for example. I say certain things for a reason. And I'm very passionate. So what I'm trying to say, I'm very passionate on certain things for a reason. So let me just go on with Washington, D.C. Okay, it's vacant. You got rid of the communist government. The de facto government is out of commission. So what people did is something that's symbolic. You want to say it's I don't know, I could say it's a ritual, but let's just go about it like this. There's an army of bulldozers. You know, people volunteer. Yeah. People in the construction business, or even people that's not in the construction business. This was a symbolic thing that you wanted to do for yourself. So you bulldozed every single federal government building, and also the state buildings that's connected with the federal government. You bulldozed the nation's capital. You bulldozed all of those things, and you start a clean slate. You change Washington, D.C. into something else. Okay? So Maryland, that area of Maryland is a clean slate. It's like you're carving off a decay, a tooth decay. Okay? You just carve it off, a nice clean slate. And that just, that manifests every part of the world. So what I'm saying to you, it doesn't make no freaking sense, but I don't care. You see, I'm planting a seed. What I'm saying to you, because that reality do exist, I planted that seed within anybody that listen to my audio, for example. I planted a seed, and you empower yourself and you align yourself into that reality. Yes. I'm not going to worry whether people or how people are going to receive my message. I'm not going to worry about that. I can't allow, I just, sometimes it happens, but most of the time I cannot allow my own ego to worry about, well, if I'm not going to be so popular and the things I say. I don't give a fuck. What's more important? What's more important to me is the truth. This literally is like an understatement. The truth shall set you free. That's right. The truth shall set you free. And I'm all about truth. This is a universal truth. People aligning themselves into higher consciousness. Okay? I am playing my role in this world, okay, to inspire humanity to go into higher consciousness. Okay? I am not the only one. There's other beings within this world that's doing their part. I am playing my part because that's what the event is. I call that the event. The event is to see that people evolve. All the so-called problems that is like, oh, wow, what are we going to do? It's like you just took it apart and you recreated something different. A lot of us talk about, for example, you come up with an idea that, it's like, well, you come up with a solution, and it seems like the majority of people look at you like you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? And a lot of people get so egotistic, they rely on a logical mind to make sense. So there's some people are not ready to take on the truth that they can set themselves free. Because, the ego, it definitely wants some sort of traction. It wants credit, but it must provide the difficult task. It's going to tell you things like, this is the limited part of yourself, everybody. It's what it is. And it's going to suggest that, you will never experience the life that you want. And you're going to always live in an idea of hell. Yeah, those things are very heavily suggested. But again, it's about the childlike heart is you're not afraid. You look at the most complex problem and you break it up. And look, everybody, for those that say, I'm not being realistic, I got to ask you this question, and just ask yourself this question too. How does that work for you? when you feel like you want to get out of this idea of a slave plantation, and you feel like, oh, someone like come up with an idea, it seems so simple, like that's it. Yeah, that's it. Like going about things in a certain way, but you don't feel supported about that because you're afraid. It's a choice that you're making. But this doesn't apply to everybody. I just want to just cover the part that people talk about. You're not being realistic. No, you are being afraid. You're comfortable in your little tiny box. That's the little box that you planted for yourself. And you feel nice and cozy. You like your sheep clothing, keeps you nice and warm. It protects you to wear your sheep clothing. Just calling it for what it is. But, I'm not gonna emphasize that so much on this audio. The thing is that I love truth. Truth shall set you free. And a childlike heart is that every single problem that people talk about in this world, we all have the ability at this very moment to break it apart and create something better, create something different, create something freeing. Yes, enjoying free energy. Yes, living in the clean air. Yes. Not having a militarized government hounding you to ticket you or try to control you. Yes. Giving yourself access to every information and not feel like you have to go through the hurdles of the satanic groups that try to keep the truth from you. That shit is gone. Who did it? Who done this? Is your higher self within you done that? So you remember, I'm planting a seed. That's it. That's what I'm doing, this audio. I'm just planting a seed. Before I close out, I want to say this. A lot of people believe that there's a multiverse. Okay? Everybody, you are the source of that multiverse. You are. You are. There's no coincidence to things. Synchronicity is the go-between. If anybody listened to my previous parts, synchronicity is the go-between. It brings your experience right to you. That's what it does. So I'm like, you are the source of all of your reality. So I know a great deal of you love the idea of living in a world rich of abundance. Oh, yeah. You have a different media that talks about inspirational things. You know what I mean? People having a very strong, healthy community. Letting go of this ghetto-ass, sorry-ass story that people hold up for generation to generation and whatever. Letting go of these stories is unwanted and it doesn't make you feel good. And people, you see, I'm not just talking about people saying things in words. I'm talking about people doing things in action. You don't just talk about experiencing or the feel or to experience, let's just say to experience a childlike heart. You and every one of us, we've gone about it. Action-wise, we've done something about it. I mean, I just want you all to go in and imagine that. That reality exists. It does. Remember I say you are the source of all the multiverse because you're a consciousness. Consciousness put itself in a human body. Just because you're in a human body, that doesn't mean that you cannot connect yourself to different reality. You can. You can focus on, for example, one particular reality. I want to focus on one particular reality that I agree on. And that is to live a world rich of abundance. Being around like-minded beings. You're spreading your wings and you're changing out motto about sky's the limit. And you spread your wings, everybody, and that there is no limits. You are infinite beings. You are infinite beings experiencing a physical body. Consciousness, even though it may go about in a way of feeling or being limited, but consciousness is limitless. All I'm doing is just planting a seed, expressing what is it, how do I feel when I go into having a childlike heart? Just breaking up all the so-called complex problems. It's fun. It's fun to break up the complex problem and just basically recreating something else again. So that's all I have to say. I felt good about it. I'm really glad I did this because it's very important for all of us to see who we are and the infinite knowledge and wisdom that's embedded in your spirit. You don't have to go to school or to be approved by certain groups to have certain wisdom and knowledge and just no, that's not really what it's about. It's embedding your spirit, and people allow themselves to open themselves up, and no excuses, no excuses. So the truth shall set you free. Just want to close it out with that. Until then, I will be back for part 76. Take care.